Hey guys, now that we were relying so much on technology and we're all in our homes and everything, our internet and home Wi-Fi are now so important. So I just want to give you a couple of tips on how to make your Wi-Fi faster, especially because we are using video conferencing and from whatever app that you choose, streaming video in general is actually more taxing on the internet than anything else. So it'd be good to make it faster so you wouldn't have any breaks in between. So let's put this together for you on how to make your Wi-Fi faster. So here's the basics. You have the internet, you have a modem, and a lot of people do have a separate router. So there are two pieces that you might have. And of course, you have your devices. And as this picture goes, sometimes your modem and your router may be the same thing. Whether you have Spectrum, AT&T, Frontier, anybody else, the equipment that they give you, that's how whether you get Wi-Fi from it or not, we're going to break this down. So this is what actually matters here. This is what we're really focusing on is your router and your devices. So when you're streaming video, as in not just watching it, but video conferencing, it's going to be the speed that is coming out of the router to your devices. And if your devices is able to actually keep up with that. So let's talk about the router real quick. I don't want to get too techy, okay? But with the router part, let me show you something here. Your Wi-Fi, if you take a look at your own computer or your phone or tablet, where you find your Wi-Fi, you have a name to it, right? Either you named it or you just kept it the same name that that your internet service provider gave you. Now, if there's nothing after that name, there's no numbers after it, then you are on what's called the 2G. It's the 2 gigahertz lane. As you can see here, what the 2 gigahertz is, it's it's slower, but it goes the furthest. So say you're in one part of your home and you're on the clear other side part of your home, and that's probably more than 500 feet, maybe 1,000 feet, whatever it may be, and you still have Wi-Fi connection, then that's what you're on, is the 2 gigahertz. And that's fine. You probably don't even notice it being slow or anything, but when you start using Zoom or Google Hangouts or FaceTime, then you start to see it being a little slow where things get choppy or anything like that. So what I'm saying is to go to the 5G one. Now, here's how you know that it's turned on, because your Wi-Fi, your router, has the capability of doing this. And the quick difference between the 2G, which you don't see the number next to it on the Wi-Fi name, but you would see the number next to it, the 5G next to the name if you had that on your Wi-Fi list. And the quick difference is that the 5G just has more open lanes and the internet flows so much faster to your device. So if you are within about 200 feet of your router, you're going to be golden on the 5G network in your home. If you're on the 2G, you could be much further and still get internet, but it will be slower. So 5G is fast and short, where the 2G is slower, but you can go further away from the router itself. So I just want to go back to this here. The router part. You need to find out if you have one or two pieces to it. So if we go back again, you see where it says modem and router? Do you have two pieces that are getting internet, or do you just have one piece that you also get Wi-Fi from? That's a question. If you don't know, that's a question for your internet service provider. But otherwise, if you already know that you may have one or two pieces, then we start right here. So now we know for your router that you just want to get onto the 5G network when you are video conferencing, okay? If you don't have that listed in your list of networks that is available to you when you look on your phone or on your computer, then that means it just hasn't been turned on. Now, to turn it on, everybody can have a different manufacturer or a different internet service provider. So depending on who made it, you might have to ask them how to turn it on. They may give you directions, or they just may do it for you on this. But it is important for you to go ahead and get that turned on. And if you already know, if you actually can get into the settings of your router or modem slash router, then perfect. And you'd be able just to turn it on because you do have it available to you. Another tip here, if we go back to here, the devices, when you're video conferencing, make sure that you don't have anything else going on in the background on your device. So say like on your phone, you may have your text messages, you may have your email open, you may have all these other apps that may be open. The best experience that you're going to have is if you just quit every other application and just focus on that one application that you have, which is either Zoom, Google Hangouts, FaceTime, whatever, because then all the dedicated internet source is just going towards that instead of kind of juggling a little bit of everything else that's needing the internet for updating. Okay. So real quick, here's some action steps that you can take. Number one, switch to the 5G network on your device if you're that you're streaming from. So say if you're on Zoom on your phone, make sure you go to your settings on your phone, go to Wi-Fi, and make sure you're on the 5G network of your internet. Once you're on the 5G, be less than 200 feet from the router. That's where you're going to get the full force and the best experience from that. Because remember, it's very fast, but the further away you get from it, like after 200 feet, the signal gets weaker, so it kind of defeats the purpose of it being really fast. And then the last thing here is to ask your internet service provider if there is an updated version of your equipment. I just went through this myself where I asked Spectrum, said, hey, I've had this for this modem for a while. Is there a newer one? And it's, oh yeah, you haven't updated yours since, 2 years ago. I was like, oh my gosh. So if they have a new one, they will actually give you one for free. You just have to turn in your older one, and having their newer equipment means you'll get better service. So definitely call in and they can tell you exactly what you already have, and they can tell you if you need to update or not, and they will do that for you. So I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, comment below. All right, guys.